Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. The internet is still ablaze at the moment, demanding justice for the likes of Peanut the Squirrel, as well as the raccoon that a lot of people seem to forget that the raccoon also died in this equation. But nevertheless, the internet wants justice. They want retribution. And it seems as if the owner or the owners of Peanut, as well as the raccoon, are now seeking legal action against the state of New York. Why? Well, this was an egregious overreach from the government of New York. The squirrel wasn't doing anything at all. It wasn't harming anyone. It was living its best life. People were loving the squirrel on social media, and the squirrel was actually helping when the owner decided to start up an organization to help animals. And now that the front runner of this organization is now dead or murdered by the government, there is a problem there because now he's not able to promote as he used to promote, which would generate more income for his organization. I think that is a wonderful thing. The man's got a good heart, and the squirrel obviously was not being harmed by it. People, again, loved this squirrel. That is the reason why the internet is quite angry about this. Now, there are certain people on the internet that are highly concerning psychopaths. And if they haven't been diagnosed, you can actually tell that they really are psychopaths when they say stuff like this. Jen, who happens to work for, I think it's the Washington Post or something along those lines, she goes, Jen, vote early. Ruben, just got to point that out to people, just in case you guys are wondering who she is actually sided with. But if you weren't already familiar with who she sided with, the MAGA squirrel deserved to die. Firstly, what sort of sick, twisted, despicable, vile human says that an innocent animal that was not hurting anyone deserves to die? You are psychotic, woman. And why is it always deranged, crazy, white, liberal women that happen to be rather old? Why is it that they're so angry and so aggressive? I know. Could it be that they're lonely? Could it be that they've got screws missing in their head? Or could it be that they've just got nothing going on in their life at all? So they've got to go after and say ridiculous, evil, and despicable things like this. You can oftentimes tell a person and their character by the things that they say. And if they're saying stuff like this, I don't think that Jen Rubin is a good woman of character at all. I think you've got to be rather concerned of having her anywhere near anyone these days, because if you're saying stuff like the MAGA squirrel, it's funny how like a squirrel was turned into a political figure straight away. Yes, there are a lot of people on the right, like Elon Musk and countless others that I saw that were sharing this and demanding retribution, demanding outrage. And look, for the most part, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm going to say it. For the most part, the mainstream media did a decent job with their reporting, especially, for some reason, TMZ. But hey, sometimes they do decent reporting, okay? In this particular case, they did, because I think even they could see how horrible the situation actually is. And look, the Department of Conservation, or whatever the department was that came and took the squirrel away, they're a Department of Conservation owned by the government, right? Or funded by the government. So it's the government overreach in this equation. They couldn't have taken the animal to a sanctuary of some description. You've got to kill the damn thing. Like, what's wrong with you? Have you got no heart? Have you got no spine at all to look after the poor animal? Like, this was raised from a baby. Same with the raccoon, for goodness sake. This story kind of reminds me of a situation we had here in Australia with Peggy and Molly. Molly being a magpie, which is, to be honest with you, I don't like them when they swoop, but they seem to go after a lot only cyclists. So therefore, I'm happy about that. But nevertheless, I've been swooped a couple of times when I haven't been on a bike and I've just been running. And they don't want to mess with me because let's just say it doesn't usually end well. I don't kill them. Let's just point that out. I don't kill them because apparently it's illegal to kill them here in Australia because they're protected species. But if you want to have one in your home, so there's Peggy and Molly. So Peggy is the staffy and Molly is the bird, the magpie, right? And the government or this particular organization rocked up at their door in on the Gold Coast in Queensland where they live, and they took Molly away. Molly wasn't doing anything. Molly chose to be there. Molly was a free bird. She was raised obviously as a little baby, but she chose to be there. She chose to come back. She wasn't hurting anyone. She became a viral sensation. Everyone was like loving the fact that a magpie was best friends with a dog. Like that just goes and defies nature massively. But the thing was, the internet demanded justice and retribution that Molly be returned, and even the government got involved. Stephen Miles, the former premier of Queensland, got involved, and apparently he helped, but not fast enough, as it would seem. But they had to throw this couple through the absolute ringer just so they could have a magpie that wanted to be there for itself. Like, how ridiculous is that? But over in America, I know the laws are different, but how crazy is it, right? Like, if an animal wants to be there and is quite happy being there, it's not being abused. I mean, the law was stupid surrounding this. And you have just some dingbat that decided, you know, I'm going to complain and I'm going to get the conservation department in and take away. They raided the guy's house, man. He was outside for 5 hours. They checked his partner's immigration status. Like, this kind of stuff is government overreach. And it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of people in New York are fed up with this. It wouldn't surprise me. I know there's only like a certain number of people on the internet that are angry dingbats and evil, despicable women like that woman I showed you, Jen Rubin. But for the most part, there are good people out there that have a heart. But there's also a lot of people that love to sow division and make things very much political. But hey, Elon Musk also goes, yeah, also the legacy meter says you're far right if you care about the government killing pet squirrels. They've made it political, man. This guy, Nakamoto, says, I'd normally be memeing about topical things like this, but this legit pisses me off. It pissed me off too. A taxpayer-funded agency raiding a man's house to murder his rescue pets is just plain evil. A judge signed off on all this. A judge. He allowed this to happen. So, yeah, I would be seeking retribution too if I was the owners. It's just there's no bringing them back now. But, like, I wouldn't like to be the judge, and I wouldn't like to be the ones that actually raided the house and took away the animals and then killed the animals for no reason. Like, how despicable and evil do you have to be? Obviously, quite evil and quite despicable. Fred the raccoon was the squirrel's adopted brother. Man, this kind of stuff, it makes me sad. I hate it when animals are treated so bad. But anyway, you guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.